Hey, Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. Why am I standing in a wood pile? Because we are building vegetable boxes out of it. Now, a lot of this wood, we were debating on what to do with it when we first got here, and we jumped around whether initially it was going to be vegetable boxes, and then we thought, it might work pretty good in retaining walls using the particular design we had in mind. And then, recently we went back to the vegetable boxes a little more prematurely than we expected, because the area in which we're going to put them are right on the edge of a cliff. Not quite a full-fledged cliff, but it's if you fall down it, you're going to have a bad day. So these things were meant for the dumpster. In fact, I fished them from being put in the dumpster. I mean, they were perilously close to being just turned into who knows what. But these are heat-treated, in this case, 4x6s. And we are going to make some pretty bomb vegetable boxes out of them. Now, I should explain that these aren't boxes that are just going to be 6 inches off the ground or 4 inches off the ground. We're going to put these a bit higher because, frankly, I don't want to be in my 70s still out there crawling on the ground trying to get my food. Not everywhere, but in places where it's a little more labor intensive, it seems we've done it both ways, and this is the way that seems to work out well for us. So we're going to take these bad boys, we're going to cut them down, we're going to build some boxes, we're going to put them out there, we're going to level them up, fill them up with some really awesome compost that we were able to get. And once we plant in it, we're going to use the stuff from the pigs, the stuff I showed you the other day in the previous video. We're going to use that for mulch. So stay tuned.
All right, so in this bed we planted broccoli, kale in the back, beetroots, and potatoes. Now in between the broccoli needs 18 to 24 inches of spacing between each plant. So typically that would be 18 to 24 inches of non-productive space. So what we did was plant beetroot in between them, which only need like 3 to 4 inch spacings in between. So now that area that was previously unproductive is now productive. It's going to provide food. We also planted marigold in the corners and dill in the corners. The marigolds repel bad insects, and the dill promotes growth into potatoes. And in this back wall over here, we planted kale. The reason we put it on the north side of the bed is so it doesn't shade out, so it doesn't grow and shade out the rest of the bed. Now typically you'd want to plant horseradish in your potato bed, but we didn't because we couldn't find any. And the horseradish repels potato bugs.
Well, that concludes most of this video. See, we didn't put a whole lot of talking in this video because I think it kind of speaks for itself. In a nutshell, get a box, put some dirt in it, preferably soil, and grow something you can eat. If it means more to you, grow something that's beautiful. Grow something that makes your heart beat up just a little bit more. It doesn't always have to be food, or it can be a combination like we do, where it's a little bit of food and something that benefits, let's say, that food. This is permaculture, remember? So nothing works in a vacuum. Everything we do has a synergistic effect. Meaning that, like I explained before, it's like the fingers of your hand. Everything works with something else. So how do we take all this together? How does this make sense in terms of permaculture? So we started with the lumber, and it was going to end up in the landfill. It didn't. So instead, what we've done, we've taken that lumber, put it to good use here. Now, ordinarily, we would have made our own compost, but this is a lot of compost to try to make. So we bought it. Really, really good compost. In fact, the best I've ever seen that you can buy somewhere. That mulch that's sitting on top of the bed at the end that they did earlier, guess where it came from? It's that hard packed garbage that most people would call garbage that the pigs were working on. Well, guess what? The pigs loosened it up, made it a fantastic mulch. And in some areas, it's well on its way to being compost. And it's going to wind up in this bed. First as mulch, ultimately as compost. Off the edge of this portion, it's hard for you to see at this moment, but I'm really standing on the edge of what you could probably call a cliff. Ideally, in the future, we will make a retaining wall that'll go out considerably further. But essentially, we're on the edge of a cliff. So these things are shored up, they're staked in the ground, they're not going anywhere. But if you'll look behind me, all this fence that's here, believe it or not, it is eroded away. And it used to be at one spot level about to where this box is. We're going to fix all that. We're going to put a retaining wall in, and we'll add another series of boxes, but that's going to be down the line. And then we have a whole beautiful design plan for what's going to happen down here. That's a little bit of ways right now, but in a nutshell, we've taken all this scrap material, compost we did, of course, had to buy, and some starch we had to buy. So we're taking all this stuff and we're putting it together on the side of a cliff. And we're gonna make a lot of good use of it, and we'll show you that in the future. Anyway, if you like what you see, subscribe, tell your friends about us. This is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. We'll see you next time.